Well, hey everybody, welcome back and happy Thanksgiving in advance for all of you that will be celebrating that this week, as our family will be. And also, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the tragedy that happened in Waukesha. As you guys know, that's right down the street from me, and several of you had texted us, make sure we are okay. The scary part about that is my daughter is set to be in a parade just like that in literally less than 2 weeks. So obviously, it brings home the reality of the sadness of what's happened. So please keep in your thoughts and prayers all the people that were affected by this, which is a lot of people in the area. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and move on to hopefully something a little more positive with the market. And so last week we did some really intensive training classes, and as a follow-on to what we went in and been sharing just in the events that we've been doing, the nightly newsletters, those kind of things, let me give you an update on where we're at. So you'll recall that in my videos I've been very concerned because of the fact that we made a higher high in price as we were supposed to after the ITP indicators were firing off and then continued to fire off, so we're making higher highs. That's what you want to see. But then we made a higher high in price, but not a higher high in the underlying indications. We don't like to see that, right? Additionally, at the same time, I warned you the bigger thing that was on my mind was the whole fact that the Dow had once again, just like it did back from a few months ago where the market had a more meaningful pullback there and brought us into more of a neutral stance, we're sitting here with the Dow right now, still, putting a lot of weight on the market. So with that being said, where we're at with this whole thing is as follows. What I'm watching right now is I want to see here a couple things. As you can imagine, I want to get the Dow back here above these speed lines and like right now, and as well as the channel before really getting uber excited. The other thing is we do have some distribution in here now that has to go ahead and be dealt with on the SPY. So both the SPY and the diamond in particular is really struggling here. So we need to get that moving back pretty fast. But if that happens, then we could perhaps see another move to the upside if we can start to turn this around and push back up. We're going to be watching that very closely. So the overall assessment for me is individual select longs, but from my perspective, with tighter stop management, lower size parameters. So maybe if you deal with 1,000 shares, 2,000 shares on a normal trading idea, maybe you might want to consider that cutting that back. Consult a registered financial representative in your risk trading plan in how you handle those things. But from my perspective, whenever we're down below the speed lines on one of the major indices like that, not going to be uber excited. Even the SPY itself is down below the speed lines here. So we really need to get those things moving back up, start getting, in a little bit more aggressive long side posture. Regardless, we're still at the long side posture. And right now, the big thing we're watching to the downside is, do we start breaking back below the Dow on this channel? I would refer you back to the videos from here a couple months ago when that whole thing took place back over here in the beginning of September. And I'd encourage you to watch those videos to see how I discussed that whole process through, where we had the neutral but never went to sell because of the rise in support underneath. So keep that in mind. It's a good reference point for you to see exactly, because we're kind of playing that whole process out once again. So in the meantime, obviously there's a couple things that we're looking at, right? So bringing up like Costco. Costco is one I've told you guys about countless times in the videos here. We are focusing on last week's classes again. And guess what, gang? Here we are several days later, and look how much more it's gone up, even from the classes that I did last week, let alone from the videos I did with you, right? So a lot of great stuff. Well, there's other ways to go ahead and look at these as well from a different perspective. So it's great to go ahead and identify some of these opportunities with my most advanced culmination of my life's work, my ITP indicators. Let's take a look at it from a TRP perspective here as well, and see how we can identify some of these breakout type opportunities. So first of all, you see Dollar Tree, which we had talked about as well recently, had a sell signal over here, went right down to target 2 and then push right back up into the direction of the uptrend. Well, what happened here, and this is what's important, is sure enough, pushed, stalled out a little bit at target 1, hit target 2, and then pulled back to target 2. Now, if you guys recall, with the target 1, target 2s, the way we like to go ahead and use these is what we want to see it then push back up here after target 2, push back off. And sure enough, look what happened here. It went ahead. That's where you get your runaways. We get our runaways, and then today you can once again see what happened with Dollar Tree today. So I'm really glad that my work identified that in advance, and you can see here with Costco. Let's take a look. We saw Costco originally with the ITP and the ways to identify the entries and reentries, but let's take a look at it from a breakout perspective. So a TRP went ahead and identified it right down here. It got to target 2. It pushed up, pulled back to target 2, and guess what? Took right back off. So here with Costco, something we've talked about multiple times in advance, you can see this. What's one of the best ways? It was a class that we went ahead and taught last week as related to the ITP. Well, guess what? Even for my newer traders, my struggling traders, traders that want to go ahead, aren't as committed necessarily to the market as like the ITP, the TRP here went ahead and fired off this breakout indication, and this is one of those places where we look for breakouts, and the way you set that up, like in the TRP scanner, for all of you that have the TRP and the TRP scanner, is I set the channel up, target 1 hit, target 2 hit, and position open. Great way to go ahead and find those potential breakout opportunities there. And of course, we've been talking about some of these for a while, so it's great for you to kind of see that in action as well, and go back and take a look at a couple of those ideas for yourself. Another thing, speaking of ideas, is we have a swing trading and options trading class this Friday. We did this last year and people loved it, so we're going to do it again with Lori and Ziad. It's going to be this Friday morning, starting at 10 o'clock Eastern. Ziad will kick off on the swing trading side in particular, and then Lori's going to go ahead and he'll also cover day trading, but then Lori's going to cover options trading from there. So it's going to be a great multi-hour event there between the two guys, and you guys loved it last year, so we're going to repeat that this year. And of course, they're going to have all new slides, all new. In fact, pretty much almost everything's all new, as I recall. So they've got a lot of great information to go ahead and share with you, with the current market in mind. So that's going to be great, nice, fresh information for you. So join us there. If you go to becomeabettertrader.com/yes, becomeabettertrader.com/yes, it'll take you to this page, and you can get signed up to join the guys here this Friday morning at 10 o'clock Eastern. And like I said, I think they'll both go for probably roughly an hour and a half or so a piece. Okay, so have a great rest of your evening. Don't forget what we said here about this market and the key location that it's in, and how we're focusing on trying to find individual ideas like breakouts and runaways through tools like the TRP, and of course entry and re-entry opportunities through like the classes we did last week with ITP. So those are a couple of the things I wanted to make sure you guys were aware of tonight, and we'll see you in the upcoming videos. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.